Hi everyone, this is me and Jules. How are you, Jules? Are you okay? I think we need to trim your nail a bit. It's a bit long. Gets caught in the fabrics, doesn't it? We've got to trim it. Don't we, Jules? Now, Jules and I have got an issue. Well, actually, I've had the issue long before Jules has. Why don't Victorians keep appointments anymore? I can't speak for the rest of Australia. But friends, I don't know about the rest of you. I don't know, am I the only human being in this state who works via appointments? You know, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 12, 1 o'clock. Am I the only one who works, one, and two, who lives life via appointments? Because I've done things like this all my life, appointments. I don't know how else to do things. Like if I have things to do to prioritise and to project manage, you've worked via appointments. Because since especially, friends, I've moved to the Mornington Peninsula now with my husband Philip in 2012-13, I have been managing actually, project managing or building trade projects, any kind of issues with the property, personal, whatever. So I need to work via appointments. And it's really strange because the men on the Mornington Peninsula, and actually not just Mornington Peninsula, predominantly here on the peninsula, and also some men from the other side, not inner city, but the other side of Melbourne, because I grew up in Richmond, right? I'm a city girl. They don't keep appointments. Like you'll tell them one and they'll come two, or they won't come at all. And I'm sort of wondering, what is wrong with the men in this state? Philip's not like that. Neither is my ex-husband, by the way. Appointment's appointment, right? He's a great businessman, and same with my husband. And I can't understand, my current husband, and I can't understand why people do not keep appointments. What is wrong? To the women who are married to these men who run businesses or are tradesies, can you please teach your partners that we actually that we also work, that we need to work to earn money to pay your bills, because if you don't keep appointments, we're just going to end up sacking you, because that's what's happening. So what's happening is I've probably sacked at least 20 pool companies in the past 12 years, because most of them, 99%, didn't know how to clean pools or fix pool problems. And the other one or two that I sacked was because they weren't on time. Like they'd say I'd be there at 10 or in a minute, and they'd come after an hour, right? Don't you agree, Jules? Don't you agree? Even Jules agrees. And I'm sort of thinking, what is wrong with people in this state? It's mainly men I'm finding. I don't find it from women. Men in this state who think that they can just turn up before or after. I mean, I could be in the toilet. I could be in the shower. I could be working. I'm working. I've got appointments, phone calls. I work. My home office is here, and if my home office wasn't here, and if it was off-site, and I had to come here to meet someone, and they didn't come until an hour later, or whatever, I mean, like, what the hell is going on with appointments in this state? I don't know if it's like this in other states. I don't know. I'm just dealing with Victoria. What the hell's going on, Jules? Do you agree? Yeah, Jules agrees. Has anyone else got problems with people who've got issues with appointments? It's mainly men. I mean, do men not know how to read the time? And the other thing is, do you know that if you give access to businesses to your property, right, especially private homes, you're not covered by insurance? How do gardeners, poor people and all of these other businesses think that I'm going to give them access to my properties, to access them? I haven't done police checks on you, I haven't done clearances on you. I don't know who you are, you're just anyone. As far as I'm concerned, most businesses are crooks in Victoria, because that's experiences I have. And look at the court cases at VCAT in all the courts. They're full of people taking business people to work. And especially now, do you know what's happening in the building industry? Do you want to tell them, Jules? Do you want to tell them? Tell them, Jules, what's happening in the building industry. Tell them. Do you want to tell them? Yeah. A lot of people who are building homes who had contracts, right? And, you know, usually takes around a year or so to build a house in Australia, because remember, the builders here only work from 7 till 3, 3:30. Can't work longer than that. They've got to have their roster day off and their weekends off. It's not like in other countries where they actually work 7 days to actually, you know, earn a living, because here they're ripping us off financially. That's another topic, right? So it takes a year to build a house, and what's happening, a lot of people now, I know this is facts, are not able to complete finishing their properties because the builders want more money, because the materials have increased in price for no other reason, because the material companies just want to make more money. Nothing to do with couriers, nothing to do with supply, nothing to do with that at all. Did you know, friends, that Australia supplies the UK with gas? And that's why they don't want to have gas in Australia, because they're supplying UK with gas. See, because instead of giving the gas to Australians, they're giving it overseas. This is all economics, friends. Did anyone study economics at school? Did anyone study economics in university? Did anyone study? I had fights with my economics teacher in year 11. He was an absolute idiot. I've got to be careful what words I use around Jules here. I don't want her picking up any nasty words that I use, right? Because they've got it all wrong. It's all theory, it's not prac. But it's common sense. Anyway, so a lot of people now who are trying to build their houses are having the biggest fights with the builders. And the builders are not building the properties. And the builders don't care, because they're saying to the owners to take me to court. And the owners, of course, of the houses don't have money and the resources and the time, because they're busy working trying to pay the builders' fees or the expenses. It is chaos what's going on. And the reason why it's chaos in Australia, I'll speak for Australia only, right? We're just going to speak for Australia, Jules. Is because there is no regulation. There's no regulation in health, no regulation. Did you watch on 60 Minutes? Do you want to say anything, Jules? Did you watch 60 Minutes how the plastic surgery industry in Australia is unregulated? Completely unregulated. They can do whatever they want. Did you know that, Jules? Did you know that? Did you know it's completely unregulated? It's all right. We're not getting any microchips. It's crap for birds. Right? Completely. Everything is unregulated. Every single industry is unregulated. Foods, cafe. I mean, seriously, friends, if we're in the middle of health issues that we have in the past 2 years, why on earth are people working in restaurants, cafes, in all food businesses, why aren't they wearing gloves? Why aren't they wearing gloves? Why aren't they wearing shoe covers? I spend thousands a year on shoe covers, because what happens is the waiters walk into the public area and they walk back into the kitchen. So they're carrying all germs from the floor into the kitchen. They should have separate shoes. Like I've got different shoes, me and Philip and I have at different entrances to walk in and out. Even in the aviaries we wear shoe covers. Isn't that right, Jules? Nothing is regulated in this country. People are doing whatever they want. Do not give your security codes to business people, to gardeners, or to anyone. Don't do it. You're not insured. You don't know who they are. You don't know who the staff are. You don't know what drugs they're on, because I know on the peninsula, most traders are on drugs, and we all know in the concrete business and all that, they're all on drugs. We know that, right? We know that. I'm not telling you anything new. I mean, that's why Australia's got the highest drug use, the most expensive drugs prices in the world, because isn't that right? We've been footing the bill and paying so high prices here for everything. In the building industry. Do you agree, Jules? Do you agree? Do you think the building industry is an absolute corrupt rip-off? What do you think, Jules? Do you agree? Do you agree? She backed off. She's not happy. Anyway, friends, I just wanted to talk to you about appointments and what's going on. This is rife. This is rife. And the thing is that if people don't come out publicly and approach all the political parties on these issues, nothing's going to change. We're just going to keep going to courts. Nothing's going to get finished or done. I was speaking to a building inspector. You know, there's people that do the building inspections. My hands are a bit sore. Can you hold this for me, Jules? And he was saying that 9 out of 10 of the new houses are crap, if not most of them. Are crap. And I can see it. I walk into properties, because I'm into properties, and I look at properties and I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. I remember when I bought with my ex-husband our new home in Sandringham around 20 plus years ago. I'm thinking, this isn't good quality. It was built by a Jewish guy from Caulfield. I'm thinking, this is not a quality building. And I just thought it was just that. I said, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is not how you build houses, the quality. Isn't that right? This is horrible. And needless to say, and then I would look at Mirvac homes and all these other homes. I shouldn't really mention names because they're going to get so upset and, we don't want defamation suits from the crybabies, right? And they're building crap. I know what's happening in the building industry. I've got people working in the building industry You tell me what's going on. If you knew what you're paying for, you wouldn't even be paying $300,000 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. They're not worth $300,000. Especially the ones in the display home areas. I mean, not only do they devalue instantly, because there's constant display homes built all the time, but they built absolute crap. It's just, we have enabled people in Victoria, I'm speaking for Victoria, because I live here, we have enabled and allowed these businesses to get away with it because we've accepted the low standards of foods, low standards of buildings, low standards of everything, education, everything. And don't blame the governments because the governments change things when we put pressure on them to change. If we don't tell them that we want something changed, why should they? It's just like an abuser who keeps bashing you. If you don't tell them stop or walk off, why should they stop? Why should they stop? They're going to keep doing it. It's exactly the same with everything. This is Earth. Do not expect people to do things the way you want them to do things unless you tell them how you want it done. Isn't that right, Jules? You're going to be talking in with my political talks? What do you reckon? We're going to be doing politics together? Are you interested in politics, Jules? Or do you think it's a load of crap? No, it's very important, Jules. It's very important people know about politics, don't you think? Hey? Anyway, everyone, that's just my whinge for the day. I can be whinging all day. It's not whinging, it's speaking about my experiences and what's going on, and this is just unbelievable. I had 2 years of peace during the lockdown with the best years of my life. 2 years of peace that didn't have to deal with crooked tradies, didn't have to deal with people that I didn't want to see, right? It was fantastic, the lockdown for me, the 2 years. Absolute fantastic. Less birds being killed on the roads and animals being killed on the road because Victorians are so bloody rotten dry. Oh, sorry, I swore there. Sorry. You didn't hear me say that, did you? You didn't hear me. Because they just drive over anyone and everyone. And soon people, I mean, I'm surprised people aren't running over kids and people on the roads. It's going to get there. It's going to get there, isn't it? Anyway, everyone, that's me for today with Jules. Until next time, where Jules and I will be having a political chat, won't we, Jules? You want to say goodbye to everyone? Bye-bye, Jules. Bye-bye. Love you, Jules. Bye-bye, everyone.